Hello and welcome back to Dragon Puppet. My name is Thomas and today we are looking at the Warhammer Live Preview for 2021, The Dead and the Devine. There was a fair bit of hype surrounding this preview, lots of fan speculation. It's been teased for a while, so people were excited to see it. As usual, the preview took place live on Twitch and it was hosted by Adam Troke and Eddie Eccles, and there are about 50,000 people watching it live, so it's one of the most watched previews they've done in a while, which is really cool. So I'm going to summarise that 1 hour preview into a 10-minute video and give a few of my opinions and speculations as we go through it as well. So we started off with Warhammer 40,000 and they did a little teaser trailer for a new Sisters of Battle unit and showed us some photos of the new Paragon armour, which is the new sort of walker slash mech that the Sisters of Battle will have access to in the near future. It kind of resembles the Grey Knight's Nemesis Dread Knight and some of the other kind of walkers that we've seen for Imperial armies over the last few years. So my personal thoughts on this is, although the sculpt is beautiful and the paint job is amazing as always, I'm just personally not a big fan of all these walkers and these baby carrier models that Imperial armies seem to be getting these days. I like to think that the walkers and the mechs are kind of like a Tau thing, and the more the Imperial armies get, it kind of just takes away from that. Although this was the only Sisters of Battle model we saw in this preview, the guys did hint that there would be more Sisters of Battle releases coming up in 2021, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Moving on to Kill Team, still within the Warhammer 40,000 universe, we had a look at the new Kill Team box set, Pariah Nexus. Although we have seen some of these models in previous previews in little bits here and there, we finally got to see the entire box set and get a really good look at what's inside. Necron players will be glad to know that there are finally new models for Flayed Ones. They've not had an update for their model for a long time, and these new Flayed One models in the Pariah Nexus box set are beautiful. They have some really cool models. My favourite one is this guy here, who has this hanging skin hand coming off him, which is really creepy, really good. And the Kill Team for Space Marines is made up of Heavy Intercessors, which are a really cool unit which we've seen in the Codex, but they've not released a model for yet. Lots of people on the Twitch stream in the comments were asking if this is going to be released separately. If you wanted to buy the Flayed Ones, can you do that? And they said it would happen, but it won't be for a while. So the Kill Team box set is going to come out first, and then after that they will release these models separately, but they didn't give an idea of a timescale for that. The rest of the Kill Team box set was pretty cool. It takes place inside a Necron tomb, which is really interesting. Lots of extra rules for how to play Kill Team on an interior kind of location. And we've got a little bit of Necron terrain. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Necron terrain. I think they could have done more with that, made it a bit bigger, a bit more exciting. But still, any Necron terrain is still good. We don't see that very often. And of course, each Kill Team comes with a commander unit. For the Necrons, that is this Chronomancer model, which is really cool. Again, we've seen a Chronomancer in the Necron Codex before, but we've not had a model for it. So that's kind of exciting to see. And again, as far as they said, this will be available separately at some point, but for now it will just be in the Kill Team box set. So if you do want it really soon, then you're going to have to buy the Kill Team box set to get these models. Overall, really like this release. Kill Team's a great little game, and any kind of extras we can get for that are really cool. The only annoying thing about this, I suppose, is the fact that the models available here will not be made available separately for a while, which kind of forces players to spend more. If they just want the Flayed Ones, for example, they'd have to buy the whole box set, even if they don't play Kill Team, which is a bit frustrating, but I can understand why Games Workshop are doing it. And you can always just swap out with friends and stuff like that. Okay, moving on to the Adeptus Titanicus preview. This was the one I was the most excited about. I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be. There was a lot of speculation around this one. Lots of people saying maybe it was going to be an Imperator class Titan, which is the biggest Titan in the sort of lore. But it wasn't that. In fact, it was a War Master Titan, which is a brand new class of Titan as far as I can see. It was based on some old sketches by Jez Goodwin from back in the day, but the actual name War Master class Titan, as far as I know, we've not seen anywhere else before. I've seen some posts on Reddit and stuff saying that it was mentioned back in the Warhammer 4000 Epic days, although I've not been able to find any mention of it in any of my books. So if you do know if this has been mentioned in old books and old games, leave a comment for me, let me know, and I would love to look it up. But as far as I can find, there's no mention of a War Master class Titan before. This is a brand new Titan class, and it is humongous. It's not as big as the Imperator, but it is bigger than the Warlord. As you can see, this thing has guns all over the place. It has 2 massive plasma annihilators on its arms, as well as a bunch of other guns all over the place and missile pods crammed into its shoulders, above its head, and even on top of its shoulders. It's got a las cannon in its knee, which is really funny and kind of links back to the old artwork, which I love. So I guess that's for shooting those smaller titans, which are going to be at knee level. We can just blast these things right in the face. And just a great model, the whole style of it, really cool. There were some comments about how this kind of seems to be a new style for Titans in Games Workshop. Back in the kind of old days, they were very boxy and very chunky, and they've started to get kind of more curvy as time's gone on. Some people are not a fan of the curved kind of armor plates, some people prefer the boxy look. To be honest, I like both. I think it works that these are just kind of different styles from different Forge worlds, but both of them look great, and this model just looks excellent. For those people who were hoping to see an Imperator Titan, there was a bit of hope. The guys in the stream did mention that there might be an Imperator Titan in the future, and this Warmaster Titan kind of bridges the gap between the Warlord and the Imperator, which does kind of hint that we might really see an Imperator class Titan come out for the Adeptus Titanicus box game soon, which would be really exciting. As well as a new model and a new class of Titan, we also saw a new rulebook for Adeptus Titanicus, which is specifically for tailoring your Adeptus Titanicus army to the loyalist Titan legions. It features loads of rules for specific Titan houses and also stratagems, which is really exciting, and it also kind of implies that there will be a traitor book at some point, although they didn't announce that or preview that. The fact that they've previewed a loyalist book kind of suggests that in the future we're going to see a traitor book as well, which is great. Okay, moving on to Age of Sigmar now. The first thing they showed us was a new spirit demigod called Severeth. Now, there's not been a lot of talk about the kind of lore and the background of this guy yet, other than the fact that it's one of the servants of Lumineth. But as far as the model goes, it's just amazing. I really like this. I don't play Age of Sigmar, I don't know a huge deal about the lore, but the models are just always amazing. It's a great paint job, it's a great model, the quiver on the back looks really cool, and also it's interesting to see these kind of other aspects. We're moving kind of towards animal kind of spirits, which is exciting. They said it was a fox, supposed to resemble a fox spirit, although a lot of people in Twitch comments thought it was a kangaroo. As well as that, we also saw a new rulebook for the Daughters of Cain, with a bunch of more rules, units and spells and stuff like that, which looks really good. I know the Daughters of Cain are really popular in Age of Sigmar, and as well as the book, we also saw 3 spell models. So these are little miniatures that you can use to represent spells on battlefield, and they match up to new spells that are available in this rulebook. And these models again look really cool. Like I say, I'm not huge on Age of Sigmar lore, I don't play Age of Sigmar, but the models are just amazing, they're so cool, and I can definitely see a lot of conversion potential here for other games. You could easily use some of these models as monsters or even to represent spells in Dungeons and Dragons. This kind of dripping blood snake thing, really cool, and these bloody flying knives, you could definitely have a lot of fun with that in other tabletop games for sure. Moving on to another fantasy game, we looked at Warhammer Underworlds and we got a preview of a new warband, a vampire warband called the Crimson Court. These guys look really cool. Again, these models are amazing. I just love the fantasy models, they are so good, and they've got so much conversion ability or kind of like cross-game usage. You could use these in D&D, you could even use a lot of these models in Warhammer 40k or Rogue Trader or something like that. You could easily use these as Dark Eldar characters, or use them in your D&D games as your player characters. They're just excellent models, and they've got so much character to them. They're really cool. This was probably the most popular thing we saw in the preview. The Twitch chat was going absolutely wild. They were loving it. There were so many comments, so many questions, people just saying how much they love these models and how much they're looking forward to playing them. I know the vampires are really popular in fantasy, and as far as I know, they've not got a major release in Age of Sigmar yet, so a lot of people were taking this as a kind of hint that vampires might become like a proper army in itself in Age of Sigmar soon, and a lot of people were very excited about that. But as far as this release goes, it's still really cool. You still get 4 new really cool vampire models. Each of them a slightly different kind of aspect of being a vampire. You've got the kind of noble vampires, you've got the sort of underworld kind of creepy vampires with wings and stuff. Really cool, and it's kind of making me want to play Warhammer Underworld. It looks like a really fun game, and these models are just so nice. And the last thing we saw in this preview was a complete surprise. Beforehand they teased us roughly what games we were going to be seeing previews from, but they said there was one mystery reveal to come, and this was it. So it's a brand new Warhammer Quest game called Cursed City. For those of you who don't know, Warhammer Quest is a game where you can either play with your friends or solo, and you play the heroes and you kind of are trying to defeat the game. It's kind of like a board game with a few hero characters that go around and try and defeat the game, but you work together or you can play it on your own. So the premise for the Cursed City Warhammer Quest game is that this huge city has been taken over by beings from the realm of death, and they've enslaved the population of the city to their evil bidding, and the players will take on the role of a group of heroes that go into the city to clear it of evil and defeat these evil characters and liberate the city. I know I've said it before, but again, the Warhammer Fantasy models are just so nice, and these ones are no exception. The Twitch stream was loving them too. This Vampire Hunter model is so cool. There was so many people talking about this guy in the chat. The favourite bit that people seem to latch onto was this stake launcher that he's got attached to his gun, which is a great touch. You could use these miniatures in all kinds of games. You could easily base a D&D character around these miniatures, or convert them for 40k to use as Inquisitors, or even as rogue traders. The big villain from this game is going to be called the Wolf. That's all we heard about him. We did not see any photos of the Wolf in this preview. We just got a name. But a lot of people were speculating that maybe he would be a werewolf, which would be really cool. We don't see a lot of werewolves in Warhammer Fantasy, so that would be exciting. But we'll have to wait and find out more about that, because we didn't see anything about the wolf in this preview. So that's what we got from the Dead and the Devine preview. It was a really good preview. There was loads of really cool models and some excellent books, which I look forward to getting my hands on. And it was done really well as well. They marketed it quite a bit ahead of time. They gave us roughly what we'd be seeing. It really built up the hype and gave the fan community a lot of time to speculate about what the title might mean and what we might be seeing. Like I say, this was probably one of the most popular previews they've done in a long time, with about 50,000 people watching it live, and loads of comments in the Twitch stream. All the videos from that are available on the Twitch channel and on the YouTube channel, the official Warhammer YouTube channel, so be sure to go and check those out right now and watch those trailers for yourself, because they are really cool. And also I'll provide a link to the Warhammer community blog post where they have all the photos in beautiful high definition if you want to just look and admire all these new models that we're going to be getting. So that was the Dead and the Devine release. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of good fun making this video and talking to the community in the Twitch stream, seeing all the speculation and stuff like that. There's so much cool stuff coming in 2021. So be sure to stick around. If you like the video, give it a like or subscribe. We do stuff like this every week. It's not just Warhammer either. We do Dungeons & Dragons or any kind of tabletop war game or role-playing game. We cover it all, and we try and talk about all the interesting stuff about the community of these games or taking your games to the next level. So stick around, and I'll see you next week.